changes, I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll second.
Motion by Barry, second by Jeanette. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moment of silence to reflect on the business at hand. Item D, Watoma Area School District Strategic Plan.
Mission statement, create a positive foundation for the success of our children.
Strategic directions, business and community involvement through internships, job shadowing, and mentorship.
Develop marketing of the district and community through branding.
Improve work and people skills.
Develop parental contacts promoting school involvement.
Build productive relationships with the medical field to increase the support and open line of communication to support students with mental health issues.
Item E, recognition of persons wishing to address the board. None. Item F, administrative reports. Tom, anything to add?
Sure, just a couple of items. You have a letter from Dan Fensky in front of you. Dan just sort of wanted to comment on the graduation, so if you have a chance to read that. Also, just wanted to again to bring about our focus that we worked on this 2 years ago. We've really never lost this focus, but I think at more time than with things changing recently, now we can get refocused on our core commitment, our district initiative, and sort of our overall why we're doing the things that we're doing. So I just thought I'd get that to you again. Again, it drives everything we're doing, and again, that core commitment of a safe and healthy school district sets that foundation for us to do a lot of other things to eventually making sure that we're sending students out to be productive members of society. So just want to make sure you guys have that. Thank you.
Perfect. Administrators. Jen, we'll start with you. Nothing to add? All right. Doug is not here. No, but there he is, way back. Hi, Doug. Okay. Adam is gone, right? Okay. Deb.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on Camp Workside. It's going well. Kids are very positive. The staff is extremely helpful and positive. Jim Rochelle has organized it extremely well. So this is his second year in his role, but first year that he actually got to do Camp Workside. So it's going extremely well. Everyone's having fun, and it's great.
Good.
So
Good. Wonderful. And Jim is gone. Jewel is not here, right? Okay. All right. Caitlin.
Yes, so I have two of my new teachers here tonight. The first one is Jenna. She will be teaching 4th grade for us. And then Michelle has the top task of arts and music together.
Awesome. Welcome.
Nice to have you here.
Yes. All right. Sierra. Okay. Eric.
Nothing at this time.
Okay. All right. Cindy.
There's still money in the bank.
Okay. All right. Board members, anything to report on?
Went to Blue Launch, very nice.
Congratulations to our athletes, got to go to some of the track events and also follow the girls softball and baseball are doing a great job and very proud of them.
Awesome. All right. Item G, consent agenda. 1 minutes, May 10th, 2021 monthly meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ross, second by Brian. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2A, retirement and resignation. I'll entertain a motion to take item 2A 1 through 8.
So move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Barry, second by Karen. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2B, employment. Also entertain a motion to go item 2B 1 through 8.
Move to approve. 1 through 8.
Second.
I'll second it.
Hi there. Motion by Jeanette, second by Brian. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item H, 1, business and finance. A, approve May 2021 treasurer's report.
I make the motion to approve as printed.
Second.
Motion by Karen, second by Brian. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1B, approve vouchers and payroll.
I make a motion to approve the vouchers and payroll as printed.
Second.
Motion by Karen, second by Barry. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And all opposed? Motion carries. Item 1C, approve the school year 2021-22 student insurance.
The school district on an annual basis provides student insurance to help offset costs from the family's insurance if there were an accident, any school events, school grounds. So I make the recommendation that we approve the student insurance for 2021-2022.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Barry, second by Jeanette. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1D, approve the school year 21-22 school police liaison contract addendum.
So this is the contract with Washington County Sheriff's Department for Officer Leif Hendrickson, school resource officer. And a minor increase just for cost of living. So I'm going to make the recommendation to approve the police liaison contract.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Ross, seconded by Brian. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, H2, Policy 2A, approve the resolution approving the sale of CISA 5 property in Vesper, Wisconsin.
So CISA 5 owns property in Vesper, Wisconsin since 1996, and they would like to sell this property. While the CISA 5 Board of Control has unanimously approved the future sale of this property, it will still needs approval of 3/4 of the school boards in CISA 5 as per Wisconsin State Statute 116.055 before the July 1st. So I, being a good citizen of CISA 5, put this on the board agenda for your approval for them to sell the property. And then there'll be a document for Katie, that Katie will need some signatures. Already done.
It's a
Hope
shed.
you approve it.
So move to approve the ability for CISA to sell the property.
Second.
Motion by Ross, seconded by Barry. Any further discussion?
How many acres is that?
What did you say, Karen?
How many acres is that?
A building is 60 feet by 80 feet, 0.54 acres, estimated value $50,000.
It's like a pole shed.
Whole
It
strip?
is.
So now it's probably worth like $3 million now, with the way the market is. Probably why they're selling.
You're building it that way.
No, she's fine. She's fine. She's fine. She's fine.
Right down there.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Item 2B, approve 21-22 WIA membership.
So again, the time of year when we have to have signature, approval and signature of our WIA membership. And so looking for approval for 21-22.
Make motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion by Brian, second by Jeanette. Any further discussion?
Any discussion on any changes in structure of conference at all? Or because the rock solid job.
Want to change it now?
Anytime those come up from anybody, you're shot out for
And option B is non-existent.
That's the problem, and that's the problem with WIA, because of the bottom line.
Did the price go up for the membership?
We had not paid for a while. I believe we are paying this year.
We have money because Cindy said so.
I think they lost some ticket revenue last year, so.
Oh, yeah,
Sure
that's
they-
true. Bummer.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2C, approve the A+ after-school academic support tutor job description, second consideration.
The creation of a new position that Kendra would like to post, but again, needs to be approved twice by, so looking for second consideration.
So move second consideration.
Second.
Motion by Barry, seconded by Ross. Any further discussion? All All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2D, approve the revised school counselor job description, first consideration.
So with the hiring of a new counselor, again, as always, we like to go through and examine the job description. And so I gave Jim Rochelle, the school counselor job description, as that's his past practice and his past employment. There were two things that he found that felt like needed to be added. It was one, at the high school level, provide collaborative support to students who require credit recovery programming, and assist with district-wide, statewide, and federal assessments as requested or needed. Those are two things that he felt would be beneficial to be added. Otherwise, he felt it was right in line with everything else. So, first consideration approval for those two additions. And those fall under the system support heading, the last two under system support.
Approved.
I'll second.
Motion by Barry, seconded by Karen. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2E, do we have to take each one individually, I would assume, or no?
You do not need to.
Okay. Item 2E, 1 through 4, approve the school year 21-22 student handbooks.
Again, annual notices did not change, so all the appropriate annual notices are in the student handbook, which is, for those of you that are in expulsion hearings, that's very important that certain things are in the handbook. And so those are in there, plus any content that the schools felt like they needed individualized to their school. So I would recommend that you approve.
So move to approve E 1 through 4.
I'll second it.
Motion by Ross, seconded by Jeanette. Any further discussion? Even though they all contain the same information, or most of the same information, it's just nice to think that everybody's unique of what fits them, their style.
Correct.
And, and one way we could say we all should be the same, but then I don't think it honors each individual administrator and how they want to look for their building and what works for them. So,
Yeah, and each school is unique in how they approach things based on the culture. Also, those annual notices, that's the key.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, negotiations personnel. 3A, approve of the elimination of the second destination imagination advisor position.
So you'll see a theme here. So there are two destination imagination positions. We did not fill either of them last year. With things going on, I don't even think there were contests. With that being said, Deb feels like she can go with one advisor, and you'll see a theme of a B, why we would like to eliminate one position and create another. So at this time, I recommend you approve the elimination of the second position for destination imagination.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Barry, seconded by Brian. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3B, approve the creation of the middle school FELA advisor position.
So as we said, the theme with Penny Mead moving to the middle school and had created an FBLA program at the high school. Eric Highlander, when he was at the middle school, operated the FBLA program at the middle school for free. With that being said, wanting to continue that program at the middle school level and substitute the amount of money that was in the second destination imagination position into that position to create FBLA. So it's a replacement. So I recommend you approve the FBLA advisor position.
What's the amount?
$400.
I'll second.
Motion by Carrie, seconded by Ross. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item I, board governance. 1, discussion only, legislative update.
Was on Martin today with Senator Baldwin's office, and as of right now, from my last report, there really hasn't been any discussion other than additional discussion on budgeting. The only point they did make was some additional funds were found in the state coffer, which came to approximately $2.6 billion.
Cindy, there's like a name.
So, yeah.
Things are looking up for
There
another
you
one,
go.
guys.
So other than that, there really hasn't been anything new as far as the immediate concern
Thursday, they're gonna, the budget hearing, or the budget group is going to meet to talk about that 4.4 billion. And then are they gonna put the 350 million in instead of being set to the side so that we can get the 2.6 billion from the federal government for ESSER 3. Again, if they don't, according to the federal government, if they don't meet that deadline, they'll be disqualified for that money. I believe it'll occur, but it'll be last second. So we'll find out Thursday how that's going to proceed, especially with the new funds coming to light in the state tax revenue.
Item 2, District Administrator Report, A, distribution of the 21-22 COVID-19 mitigation process proposal.
So you have a handout in front of you that if you could please read through it and then bring back to the next meeting. This will be an action item for the next meeting. Kerry Konczynski and I went through and tried to create a mitigation process for next school year that we felt was flexible, but also did not just throw caution to the wind. No regret what we did in 2021. I thought we handled things extremely well, but as those of you who've been keeping track of the data, things are diving down quickly. I think we're now averaging 121 cases per day in the state of Wisconsin, 143 people hospitalized, which is down from almost 3,000 in November. We're down to about 43 people in ICU, which is down from about 600 in November. So again, things are starting to trend down with vaccinations, with other immunity. So the packet you have in front of you, the first page sort of talks about the logic model of, and I'll go through this part, I don't need to go through all of it because you can read it. The first part is just, again, vaccinations are available for anybody 12 or older right now in the state of Wisconsin. Per CDC guidelines, eligible individuals who are fully vaccinated are not considered close contacts. With Kerry and the county, we have a very inclusive and robust antigen testing structure in place that we can really localize and quarantine positive cases quickly. That happened this spring, the last 3 weeks of school. We were able to do a lot of testing the last 3 weeks to really get a handle on who was positive and who wasn't. And I think it really helped us during those last 3 weeks. The purpose, I believe, again, and I looked this online to make sure it just wasn't my opinion, but the purpose of the whole mitigation measure back last summer and all the way through was to reduce hospitalizations. We needed to keep the hospitals from being bombarded and the healthcare workers from being bombarded. I feel like that, based on the data that I just communicated, that is happening right now. Also, we had no students who were hospitalized this year from COVID. It was also to keep people out of the ICU, again, to make sure they weren't getting that threshold of potential death. And so, again, ICU numbers are down. We had no students, obviously, that went to the ICU. And then it was also to reduce deaths. You know, obviously, we don't want our citizens to be dying. And so in here, to the back, I have a report of how many students passed away from COVID-19 in the state of Wisconsin to this date, from the ages of 0 to 19. I guess not students, but just birth to 19. That number is 3 this year. If you look at the next page behind that, you'll see the top 10 leading causes of death by age group in 2018, which is the most recent data that we have. I did hear, though, that if you look at ages 15 to 24, suicide 102 in 2018. I heard that went up by 50% in 2019, and I'm not sure what the 2020 data is on that. But if you look at ages 5 to 14, anything greater than 3, unintentional injuries 21, cancer 13, congenital 11, suicide 11, perinatal 4, homicide 4, then we get into 3. All right? And again, I'm not trying to diminish COVID, but again, if our purpose was to mitigate and to try to make sure we kept people in the hospitals, out of ICU, and people dying, I think we did a good job of that. I mean, I think everybody did a good job, not just Wausau, but everybody did a good job. But I think it's important to look at this data and so we move forward. So, as you'll see on page 2 and 3, it really gets down to what we would like to propose for our mitigation process for next year. And the categories are illness and exposure, facial coverings protocol, other mitigation measures, and close contact tracing and quarantine procedures, and testing options. So those are your 5 categories. That if you want me to speak to them more next month, I can. But if you want to read through them, then that way if you have questions, you can bring them back to me. That'd be great. I do meet with Patty Wolfile, Tri-County, and Wild Rose next Monday. I'm at the point, and this is just where I'm at, is that I want to bring this to you guys in July. So unless Patty were to be in complete disagreement with me, which I don't think is going to occur, this is what I'm proposing to her that we're going to move forward with, maybe with some tweaks here and there. I think that that will be fine. Again, Carrie Krasinski had a big hand in this, and she is obviously works for the county. So this is where we're at. Again, enjoy reading it. I did mail it to Adam, so he has a copy of it also. Any questions you have for me now before we move on? Or comments?
I think it speaks for everybody, saying that how it was handled here is, I think it's good as it could have possibly been handled, and I think moving forward is going to be so sweet this coming school year, not to have to do much of it, and having kids have to get back to a normal education.
Would also be take note that in the back pages there, it does show that there were 2,377 incidences of quarantine. So obviously that was duplicate kids because we don't have that many students in our district. There were 105 positive cases. So sending 2,377 kids home, 105 cases makes up 4% of the kids that we sent home. So 96% of the kids were sent home did not end up being positive for COVID. And again, it had to be done. I know we're regret doing that, but as we move forward, we can't keep sending kids home at that rate. I'm not going to have, we won't have Carrie Krasinski around very long if we have to continue that model because it nearly burnt her to a crisp by the end of the school year. So, and she's very valuable. So there are other ways I think we can do this, and you can read those ways.
I just looked at a quick comment. I guess I would guess what I've seen so far is certainly the goal. This is where we want to be. My only question would be what the thought process and the rationale is behind what do we need to do this at the July meeting versus the August meeting? And do you think it sends the right message to other districts if we get on the leading edge of this, or what's your thought process?
So for us to do it a month early, Ross, you're saying? Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I want to get it out to our families as soon as possible and our staff, just to reduce that, like what's going to happen this year. And I feel like that second week in August is, there's only 2 weeks before school starts. And we'd really like just to get ahead of that and reduce maybe some anxieties, maybe some frustration. And I think other school districts in the state have already, I know like Kiel came out and said, we're just going back to pre-COVID. And they're just going back to normal completely. And if that works for them, good for them. I don't think we were ready for that yet. The other 2 districts in the county, I think I know Trent County for sure will be ready to jump all over. Wild Rose, I'm not really certain, I can't really get a read there. But I don't feel like we're being presumptuous by doing July. Especially if our hope is to get a vaccination clinic for the 12 and ups at the school. But Carrie's working to work with Family Health to get the Pfizer so that we can offer that. Because then if kids got it in July and they got the second one in August, they would be free and clear for the school year to start as far as being a close contact 12 and up. So I think that's the other part of this too. We encourage you for people involved in activities because again, it makes you exempt if you have the vaccination. So did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm not, like last year, I feel like I really wanted to wait till the last second because I still didn't know what the heck was going to happen. I feel like there's a better idea of how this is trending for us.
Yeah, certainly the trends have been one way and they've been very positive. I just think if there's been any consistency from this group in this room, that we haven't really taken any false steps, right? Or we've been too quick to do something, now we have to back up. So, that would just be the, and you answer the question, you want to set families at ease by doing this in July and projecting this is where we're planning to go. Obviously, if there is an extenuating circumstance or another factor, an outside factor, we are going to then
we always get back
consider factors.
And I think that lends credibility when you have to do that because those families can say, hey, listen, they were looking at freeing things up and going, but then, wow, this occurred, and they would understand, instead of us just forcing through, but no, we're just going to keep wearing masks and things of that sort. So I sort of was curious to see what would happen 2 weeks after Memorial Day, and we're there, and actually the cases are still going down at a pretty strong level. So
I think that from what we've been through already and how we've had to react to what happened, I think we're more something were to arise or a spike or whatever we may come across, I think we're definitely more capable of handling it at this point.
Oh, we have the protocols in place, right? It'd be real simple, you
Yeah.
turn them on.
Right, exactly.
And the testing's the big thing. I think if things got a little bit sideways, sort of like they did in the spring, Carrie just started testing heavy, and we just tested everybody around as best we could, and it really helped us localize down. And I would equate it to almost 6 groups that last 3 weeks. There were like 6 pockets that it was sort of occurring at, and it really helped us get a handle on that to maybe avoid it becoming more across the thing, and got us right up to graduation, which was good. So yeah, her ability to test quickly and make recommendations is crucial for us, and she has access to a lot of tests. We've been one of the few districts in the area that I know of that does that. Other people have not been as robust with their testing as she has, and I respect that. And kudos to our family for not balking at it. They were like, yeah, let's do it, let's test.
Any other discussion? So bring that paperwork back with you for the next meeting.
Yep.
Item J, board suggested future agenda items. Anything comes up? Tom? No. Item K, adjourn to close executive session to A, consider the financial, medical, social, or personnel histories or disciplinary data of specific persons, preliminary consideration of specific personnel, problems, or the investigation of charges against specific persons, which, if discussed in public, would be likely to have a substantial adverse effect upon the reputation of any person referred to in such histories or data, or involved in such problems or investigations under Wisconsin State Statute 19.851F, and B, consider the employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility under Wisconsin State Statute 19.851C, and adjourn. Roll call.
Karen Escola.
Yes.
Nicole.
Yes.
Karen Jeff.
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.